evening, Commonwealth, and thanks for watching the Channel 2 News. I'm Adriana Cotero.
And I'm Ashley McDowell. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories.
The Cannabis Committee meets with the Commission to discuss the industry.
Also tonight, another potential industry entering the CNMI is questioned by lawmakers.
And we speak with Governor Torres on two major topics in the Marianas.
In sports, Hyatt's signature event brings out many familiar faces and raises funds.
Stay with us, these stories and more are next.
Get more, do more with Docomo Pacific. Enjoy endless local calls and SMS with 30 gigabytes of data for only $59 a month. Sign up today and get a Samsung J6 smartphone free. Connect with the familia, share your moments with your PRIMOS, and celebrate the Marianas way every day. The possibilities are endless. On the fastest network that gives you more. Docomo! Now available at Docomo Pacific. Better together. Some conditions apply.
Welcome to the Marianas Eye Institute. Our office on Beach Road is staffed with U.S. certified eye care technicians, doctors that have received national recognition, and a friendly, professional staff that will look after you and your loved ones. With over 1,200 eyeglass frames to choose from and an in-house lab, we can make most glasses in about an hour. And we even feature a mobile clinic to bring eye care to you. Keep your eyes healthy and strong with professional eye care at the Marianas Eye Institute.
Half a day, Tirwami, and good evening, Commonwealth. Today is Monday, April 29th, 2019.
The House Committee on Cannabis meets with the Cannabis Commission in the Speaker's Conference Room to discuss further developing the industry.
The purpose of the meeting today, included in the agenda, is to come up with the exact amount of funding that is needed for the Commission to move forward to promulgate the regulation for the remainder of FY 2019.
Funding is one topic discussed in order to make moves with the cannabis industry.
We have made the decision that for now, with the budget constraining the 1st and 2nd senatorial district, that the 3rd senatorial district would look into providing the funding and hopefully get reimbursement back from the 1st and 2nd senatorial district.
This is the seed money to start up the office, says Representative Lipan Guerrero, acting chair of the House Committee on Cannabis. And another topic discussed?
It was mentioned that the Commission are a bit concerned of the timeline to come up with the promulgating regulation because we have changed from the 360. The original proposal was 360 days to 180 days. But the Commission's work does not start until the gavel is hit.
And the gavel can't be hit until the companion bill is passed.
Exactly,
correct?
yes.
So where's the companion bill now?
The committee had adopted the additional amendment to the bill.
An amendment to strike out the word hemp from the bill's language.
On the federal guideline, it's no longer illegal. It's more of commercialized. Hemp is commercialized for feeding, fiber, you name it.
The Cannabis Committee completed the draft of this proposed amendment. The striking out of hemp, what does that mean then? Will there be a whole new legislation that we have to wait on for hemp? And does that mean it's a whole different industry at this point? Or
hemp would be considered a different industry. It'd be more like a farming industry. It would be regulated under the Department of Natural, Resources, DLNR. The author is promulgating a standalone bill, proposed legislation, to come up with the language as to the hemp industry, and hopefully would introduce that on the next House session.
Reporting for KSPN2 News, I'm Adriana Cotero.
And more news from Capitol Hill. The legislature holds a House session where concerns are projected in regards to the Standing Committee report on the measure to allow internet gaming in the CNMI. Here are the details.
Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Motion carries. Standing Committee Report 21-5 is hereby sent back to committee.
This Standing Committee report is sent back after being placed on today's House session bill calendar. This vote in favor for its return comes after multiple lawmakers raised questions and concerns on this measure to allow internet gaming in the CNMI.
It doesn't specifically say that internet gaming cannot be accessed by minors. And more to the point, it doesn't explain exactly how we're going to prevent minors from accessing internet gaming. Internet gaming is no joke. Money laundering, even the Casino Commission is concerned about money laundering and the problems of gambling, and how is this going to be properly regulated? And also, how are we going to ensure that we are ready to comply with federal banking rules? None of that is addressed in this bill. My broader concern, too, is that this hasn't gone to public hearing. We haven't actually gone to each of the senatorial districts to ask our people in each of those islands, well, what do you think about this?
Not opposed to the idea, of internet gaming completely, but I do think that if we could have a little bit more time to review this, send it back to the committee, so that we can have the concerns from the Attorney General properly addressed, and for any member who is not in the gaming committee to also address it. I believe we have time. I know that because of our economy, we always want to think about pushing any revenue generating bills as quickly as possible, but we have to remember that we have a duty to ensure that we put the best bills forward in the best language and ensure that there are not constitutional issues that will come back and hurt us.
But I think we should have this bill back to the committee and address all the issues and have our public comments, because we wouldn't do it, let's do it right, like Congressman Trump said. We have to do things the right way in the beginning. We're not going to keep coming back here and say, we should have done this, should have done this. Let's just do it and do it right, so we go out there, the people will decide. Yes, we really need the generating revenue, but we need to be mindful that we want to do it the right way for us to get the revenue.
In addition, the Office of the Attorney General comments on the House Bill 21-31, sending this letter to the Chair on Gaming, Representative Ralph Umel. The letter states that the office provided input in the drafting of an earlier version of this measure, which was under consideration in the 20th legislature. This input included to incorporate federal statute requirements on internet gaming. And the Attorney General says the newly introduced measure does have the added provisions and also highlights a, quote, glaring drafting error in the language, end quote, stating that to be consistent with the prohibition on minor engaging in gambling in general, the language should read, quote, cannot be accessed by minors and can only be accessed by individuals in the senatorial district or other jurisdictions in which gambling is legal, end quote. Other concerns by Attorney General Edward Manabusan are that the bill does not designate which government agency is responsible for administering and enforcing internet gaming and how that agency would be funded. And according to the letter, what's also not addressed are the practical implications and enforcement challenges. Reporting for KSPN2 News, I'm Adriana Cotero.
Two very important topics have been in discussion for the Marianas, and KSPN reached out to Governor Ralph Torres for comment on both. One being the 2.5 overtime pay for government employees during recovery from Super Typhoon U2.
There's some formula that FEMA and I are working on, and hopefully we can resolve that in the next couple of weeks. FEMA's been here, and I've said it in the beginning, we've never had this much of cooperation and assistance from FEMA. So I don't want this 2.5 to have a disgruntled relationship between FEMA and I. We have a lot of building to do, resilience. We have close to $1 billion recovery costs. So this 2.5 is a big deal for all of us. I want to pay them right away, but if our revenue is not there, as we have done in the past, to pay in advance, all we're asking is some patience before this 2.5 is given out to the community.
But there is concern that some employees may be taking advantage of the overtime pay.
Whoever is abused have to answer their own question. But you cannot penalize the whole government for if there is certain individuals that have taken advantage of or if they do work, to let them justify. But to arbitrarily just say there is abuse without proving, I think is also, obviously it's freedom of press, right, today. But then again, just to be fair, you're innocent till proven guilty, but at the same time, anyone in question, bring them in. If OPA wants to bring them in, FEMA wants to bring them, nobody's stopping anybody from coming in and say, can you justify your work hours here?
And another important topic is Imperial Pacific International taking over management for the Marpi land lease.
It's a government property. We've seen that, and I'm glad that we utilized it during U2. It's a government obligation to protect the property. And I want to congratulate IPI for coming in and wanting to cover and maintain the property. And I hope that at the very minimum, get our money back in terms of the value of the property. I just hope that our economic will continue to grow and open up the rooms for our tourism to use.
Coming up, KSPN isn't the only broadcast station on island this week.
We tell you who is here and why. You don't want to miss this. Stay tuned.
Get the phone plan you're looking for at IT&E. Stay connected with the strongest, widest, and most reliable network in the Marianas. Stream, share, play, shop, and surf the web with super fast 4G LTE data. Whether you need just a few gigabytes of data to get by, or if you want to go further with unlimited data, there's a plan for you. You'll always get the best price. Visit any IT&E store or call us to learn more. IT&E. Explore your world.
Jose and Pedro were born on the very same day. Jose liked to play sports. Pedro liked to play video games. Jose's favorite word was pass. Pass me the ball. Pedro's favorite word was pass too. Pass me the rice. Jose is retired and has both time and energy. His life is just beginning. Pedro has diabetes, hypertension, and gout. His life could soon end. Eat less, play more, live longer. Brought to you by PHI, the pharmacy you can trust.
Welcome back to the Channel 2 News.
The Hotel Association of the Northern Mariana Islands is seeing an 11% decrease in hotel occupancy for March 2019 compared to March of 2018. A release from the Hotel Association of the Northern Mariana Islands states a reported 76.52% average occupancy rate for the 11-member hotels in the NMI for March 2019.
Right now we have Coral Ocean, which is closed. Hopefully they'll be able to reopen by the end of the year. You do have World Resort that I believe has less than 100 rooms that are open, but their pools, thank goodness, are open, and they're just waiting for their water slide to be open. I believe that they're going to open 100% of the rooms by July. And then the water park with at least a couple of the slides by October. So that's, that's heading towards the right direction.
Those occupancy rates shows an 11% decrease from March 2018, mainly occurring from the negative attention the typhoon brought to the Sinamai back in October of 2018.
The last thing that people remember, that have in their minds is the devastation that happened because, PIC, for instance, was #1 in the searches for in Korea market for about a week and a half. And you saw all of these pictures, and it's kind of like, how does a destination recover? Especially, how do they recover so quickly?
But Kavanaugh says the media coverage from different events on the islands and the My Marianas Paradise Festival will combat the negative attention the typhoon brought on.
That's why we, the Hotel Association, asked MBA to put together this entertainment and these news people to coming in from the different markets to try to show them, hey, we're recovering. We recovered to the point where we can, you can come here and you can vacation, and it's safe and it's reliable and it's fun. You're not going to be in all of this tin sheets and everything around, and so it's going to come back. It's just taking a little bit longer than we wish it would, but overall it's not as bad as it could have been.
Kavanaugh says another negative influence on the travelers coming to the Sinamai is enforcement to monitor lodging establishments. She says there are laws that have the definition of what an actual lodging accommodation is and how it should be run and maintained. But with the recent fire at the bed and breakfast on Railroad Drive in San Vicente that resulted in a death, these laws were not followed, bringing a negative outlook to the safety of visitors to the Sinamai.
With B&Bs, they should fall under, that particular law. And so what does that mean? That means that they should be paying the hotel occupancy tax. They should meet certain sanitation requirements. They obviously need a business license, and they should be permitted through the fire department and go through the same things that any other lodging goes through. Safety is extremely important when it comes to you inviting people into your destination. And something like this, now I believe that particular B&B has 2 deaths. Okay, and something like this is very bad for our destination.
Room rates for March 2019 were only $1 off when compared to March 2018. And although the prices of vacation lodging in the Sinamai aren't changing much, there is still a need to keep up the attraction for the tourists to continue to build back up the numbers.
And it's just a matter of doing the things that MVA needs to do, and go out and do these promotions. Right now it's very important that they get their funding in. I don't know, the last time I was at a board meeting, they had only a partial funding, I think through December, or it could have been through November. And the government needs to remember that if we do not have the funds to go out and promote our destination, then everyone will forget our destination very quickly. And it just takes that much more money that we need to put in to bring it back. Will it be up to last year's or the year before? We hope so, but it's just a matter of that getting the seats back and getting the interest.
Reporting for KSPN2, I'm Ashley McDowell. Tomorrow, the current Emperor of Japan, Akihito, is scheduled to step down, and on May 1st, his 59-year-old son will become the emperor. Emperor Akihito visited Saipan with his empress back in 2005, and tomorrow, Japan's National Public Broadcasting Organization, called NHK, will go live from Banzai Cliff at 2 separate times, once at 12:30 p.m. and another at 6 p.m., available for viewing to anyone tuning into NHK. An appropriate place to pay respect to an important part of history for Japan, as well as respect for the emperor before abdication.
For us, but it's a very beautiful places, also beautiful places. So, and we hope, and not only on the third story, but also, and it's very wonderful places for us. It's an object to this and live broadcasting.
On Guam, a proposal to increase the minimum wage by $1 has small and big businesses giving opposing views. KUAM reports.
Hafide Sinamai, here's what's making news on Guam. The chief economist of Guam's largest bank says he supports Senator Joe St. Augustine's proposed $1 increase in the minimum wage. Speaking on the sidelines of the Bank of Guam's Spring Economic Forum, the bank's executive vice president Joe Bradley disagrees with the Chamber of Commerce's position that it will hurt small business.
The impacts of increasing the minimum wage and the fear that it's going to create unemployment is unfounded. The career that it's going to raise prices is by and large unfounded. I think that a lot of the increase in prices is due more to demand pull inflation as people who spend all of their income get more of it to spend rather than cost push inflation, because for most businesses the wage bill is a very small proportion of their overall cost of operations.
He says wage impact might be a bit more for the service industry, but for most businesses, it's minimal. Senator St. Augustine is still seeking input on the proposed increase to $9.25, which he is proposing to take effect by January of next year. Next week will be celebrated as Law Week, with Wednesday proclaimed as Law Day. Top leaders from all three branches of government were joined by middle and elementary school students for the proclamation signing at Adaloop. Guam Bar Association President Attorney Jackie Terlahi read this year's declaration, which reminds us of the freedoms afforded by the First Amendment.
This year's Law Day theme is free speech, free press, free society. And whereas the First Amendment to the United States Constitution states that Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances.
The students will also be participating in the annual mock trial event, where they will take part in a simulated court proceeding. Stay informed 24/7 by checking out KUM.com. Reporting for KSPN2 News, I'm Carmen Victoria Terlahi.
Thank you, Carmen. And coming up, it's a big Saipan annual outing, and we take you there next with Bob's Super Sports.
Don't go away.
Get a load of this! Here's your chance to win cold hard cash with Docomo Pacific's prepaid giveaway. For a limited time only, get a chance to win cash and cool Docomo Pacific gear every time you load $5 worth of Docomo Pacific prepaid. Every Friday, we'll reward 5 winners with $50 and one grand prize of $250 to one lucky person. Every $5 worth of prepaid load gets you an automatic entry. Load more and get more chances to win with Docomo Pacific's prepaid giveaway. Docomo Pacific. Better together. Some conditions apply.
Good evening and welcome to Channel 2 Health Talk. I'm Dr. Tony Stearns of Marianas Medical Center. Sugar, sweet, comforting, energy-boosting sugar. A little indulgence here and there is okay, but the average person's diet is overflowing with sugar in the form of sweetened drinks, fruit juice, sweetened snacks, desserts, and other readily available sugars in the form of processed carbohydrates. How do we keep our intake in check? And how can we better handle an intense, I want that huge piece of chocolate cake craving when it strikes? Here are some suggestions. Know your triggers. Increasing your awareness of what provokes your wanting sugar is the first step towards control. Stabilize your blood sugar. Eat breakfast every day and eat healthy protein and fiber snacks throughout the day to keep your blood sugar from dropping too sharply. Avoid sweetened drinks such as soda, fruit juice, sports drinks, iced tea, coffee, and avoid anything with glucose, sucrose, fructose, or high fructose corn syrup listed as one or more of the first few ingredients on a label. Eat more complex carbohydrates. Replace simple sugary carbs with complex carbs that break down more slowly, such as whole grains and vegetables. You'll be more satisfied for a longer period of time. And choose fruit when you have the urge for something sweet. Fruit is sweet because it contains fructose and it's healthy for you when you get it in the whole fruit. Try some dried fruit or frozen grapes or berries or peaches next time you feel the urge for sugar. Exercise. Exercise breaks down sugars in your body, plus it relieves stress, a common trigger for binge eating. Try sugar-free products. They can satisfy your taste buds without adding calories. Distract yourself by reading a book, calling a friend, or putting some energy into a favorite hobby. Practice portion control. Choose smaller portions and eat slowly. Thanks for joining me. I'm Dr. Tony Stearns of Marianas Medical Center. Please join me again next week and have a healthy week.
Let's roll at Gold's Gym Saipan with group exercise for every body. Total Resistant Exercise, or TRX, helps develop your core and improve strength. And Zumba toning is probably the funnest way to get fit. The Shake Cafe is a great place to stop by for a meal replacement or supplements. Today is the first day of the rest of your life.
KSPN2 Sports is brought to you in part by Triple J Motors.
Buenas sports fans.
Buenas sports fans. The annual Hyatt Golf Tournament teed off on Saturday at Lau Lau Bay in the Cagman area. Our Chris Nelson reports.
The tournament kicked off under blue skies and beautiful conditions. Over 140 players participated in this year's tourney, including 20 players from Japan. The signature event raises funds for the Make-A-Wish Foundation, along with 500 sales, the Montessori School, and many more. The tournament was sold out, with many on the waiting list. After opening remarks, there was a shotgun start, and the players were off to their respective holes. New car up for grabs on 17, but it's back at the dealership today. Nice putt here. Ditto. Boom. Some managers delegate and some managers do it themselves. Nick Nishikawa manages the Hyatt and manages this putt nicely. Hard to putt with an FBI agent having you under surveillance. Bobby Bogart. Boom. Wind cheater. Ron Benevente just misses. Hans Mikkelsen used to be a liberal. Now he's more to the right. A Honda up for grabs on hole number 13. Swing for the car? Nope. Several got close, but nobody got the keys. 6 birdies on the day for Edward Lee, but not here. To the green on number 12. Fringe candidate Bruce Berline goes with the putter from well off the green. Motion denied. Still a fringe candidate. Berline tries a new line of questioning. Also denied. And then the emotional appeal to the jury. But they still aren't buying it. Berline would finally tap in, but not without leaving an important piece of evidence, a physical threat to our cameraman caught on tape.
You print that, you're going to live a lot shorter life. Just saying.
Russ Quinn stands over his putt. This is no laughing matter, only it was.
On film.
Kenai Quinn putts here, but celebrates just a bit too early. Here's a nice putt from just off the green.
Oh! Yeah, baby!
Wow. Oh, it's good to have editorial control. Sonny Kim, long downhill putt right to left. And she drains it for the birdie. Edward Lee takes first place in the championship flight And Lee, and the winners for the ABC seniors and ladies flights are presented with Hyatt bathrobes at the banquet on Saturday night. The 2019 Hyatt Golf Classic. Chris Nelson for the Channel 2 News.
Here's the windup and the pitch.
I don't believe what I just saw!
Here's your weather forecast for today. The high was 86, 97 heat index, 83 was the low, and 65% humidity. No rain, partly cloudy today. And tomorrow it's going to be a lot like today. East winds 10 to 15 miles per hour, high 87, low 78, seas 4 to 6 feet, sunrise 5:54 a.m. and sunset at 6:34 p.m.
So it's pretty awesome that NHK broadcast is coming here.
How exciting.
Or they're already here, should I say, from Japan, you know, because that's a very, you know, important piece to our island, especially Banzai Cliff, you know, and
definitely
has a lot of history there. So
and history's being made as well for them.
Yeah.
So, but I know when you and I were speaking about it, Channel 4 is where people can watch here?
Yes.
They want to watch the broadcast
If
and
they
see
would like
Banzai on TV.
Yep, absolutely.
That's always really exciting.
So make sure to tune in tomorrow, yeah.
Exactly. Well, thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you back here tomorrow night.
Have a great rest of your night.